Welcome back to yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of self-trust. So come along and grab your coffee because that's what I'm going to do. Hello, my name is Alan. I am a CPTSD survivor that has spent the bigger entirety of my life chasing a better state of mind. I learned a lot of things along the way, and I would like to take my time to share my experiences and what has worked for me here on my YouTube channel. As earlier stated, we're going to touch upon the topic of self-trust and how important it is to start your healing the right way. So, what is self-trust? Self-trust is the foundation of self-confidence. When you trust yourself, you believe in your abilities and you know that you can handle anything or whatever comes your way. I was reflecting on my own challenges in life the other day and what really had helped me overcome them. And I realized that is just that, self-trust. In today's busy world, it's hard to stay connected to our own bodies. And this can lead to feeling disconnected over time. What we see and feel comes from inside of us. Our ancestors, for an example, they trusted themselves and their bodies and their minds. This trust helped them handle most situations when it came to survival. Sadly, in today's world, people often distrust each other. This lack of trust usually comes from not trusting ourselves. The link between our body and soul is important. We should feel safe whether we're alone or with others. But sometimes even being alone can make us feel uneasy, because we're not as good at handling our feelings as we could be. Feeling constantly on edge can lead to stress and illness. This feeling is similar to being with a stranger. You are unsure and can't fully trust or feel at ease with the stranger, who's actually yourself. Once you learn to trust yourself, you steadily grow into what we today call self-confidence. Many people have told me that there's nothing to be afraid of, but telling that to someone who's grown up in trauma is simple. In reality, though, it's much harder to actually put it into action. It is even harder to make this a mindset. Somewhere along the way, I realized this inner critic, and I became aware. I understood that it was taking away so much from me. That's when the switch happened. That's when I started to reshape my patterns. The truth is, no one can help you if you don't help yourself. While it's great to have people around to support you, they can't make that change for you. That is all on you. Now, how do you get motivated to face this mean bully? The same bully who has been running the show for years. It's as simple as getting tired of being bullied and standing up for yourself. It's easier said than done, but when it all boils down to it, that's all it is. One thing that helped me regain my control over my inner critic was to realize that I was allowing it to rob me of my life. Every time I felt like meeting new people, it told me I couldn't, or that I wasn't good enough, or that people were always equal to problems and headaches. While my inner critic was being useful in the worst times of my life, helping me getting out of bad situations, it followed me into my calmer times where I needed to focus on healing. It was so in charge that the mindset it brought me created blockages that prevented me from fully being myself and opening up to healing. In order to change something within, one must logically listen to the body, knowing what makes you happy, anxious, stressed, and so on. This is crucial in order to change a pattern. Let's say that you are anxious in a situation. Becoming aware of that anxiety can make a ton of difference. It opens up a door kind of, where you now are aware that you are anxious, which leads up to the next question. And that would be, why are you anxious? If you can identify where the base of this anxiety comes from, well, then you can deal with it. If you recognize that there is no logical reason behind that anxiety, just at that moment, then it might just be that bully who is giving you a hard time once again. And that's the moment when you tell him off. Now, of course, this is very simply put and requires a lot of work. But then again, the concept is there and it works. So this brings me to the other 2 points. Changing a pattern that you have learned to live with for years can be very hard. The last but most important piece of advice I can give you is patience. Healing takes time. Change takes time. And anything worth achieving in life takes time. You have to be fully prepared before you even start walking your first steps towards your goals. Engrave this in your mind. Accepting that things will take time will also make it easier for you to develop a humble mindset. Being harsh to yourself in a world that is already harsh enough will not make anything easier. If you're struggling to trust yourself, know that you're not alone. It's a common challenge, but it's one that can be overcome with time and effort. Start by listening to your body and mind. Pay attention to what makes you feel happy, anxious, stressed, and so on. This will help you identify your triggers and develop coping mechanisms. Also, start taking small risks, even if it is something as simple as trying a new food or just talking to a stranger. The more you challenge yourself, the more confident you will become. Finally, be patient. Building self-trust takes time. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Just keep practicing. You will eventually see a difference.